Hey everybody, today we're going to be working in Revit to draw out the walls for your utility shed design. We're in Revit 2018. We've already covered in a previous video how to navigate in 3 dimensions and how to use the interface and the properties panel and the project browser panel. So I'm not going to go over that today in too much. I'm just going to refer to them for a couple of different things. Today I just want to show you how to draw some walls, which would be the first thing you'd want to do. So if I go up to the Architecture tab, I can select the wall icon here. And if you'll notice, when I click down, I get a flyout of each tool, as you've seen before. There's actually 3 different types of walls. There's the architectural, structural, and wall by face. We're going to want to use the simple, by default, architectural wall. Okay. Now, your project is going to be 12 feet by 16 feet. It's a very small tool shed. So fortunately, we can use the rectangular drawing tool up here and draw out a simple rectangle for that. So let's draw that out. If I left click on the drawing space, I can draw out that rectangle. And you'll notice I could draw it out exactly the right size because it does show the dimensions if I wanted to. But we're not going to do that because let's just say the dimension was a combination of feet and inches. It would be very difficult for me to draw something 22 feet 1 inch. So I'm just going to draw it out any old size and click. And we're going to change that. I'm going to show you how to change those dimensions. So we have our rectangle. Everything's great. Okay, now if I escape out of that, the dimensions do disappear. But now we're going to add dimensions and change the walls because we want this to be 12 by 16. So if I click on this wall, you'll see that the dimension right now, as I drew it out, is 44 feet 6 inches. Now, that is 44 feet 6 inches from the center of the wall to the center of this wall, and that is not what we want. We want from the exterior wall to the exterior of the other wall. So to change that extension line from the center, we can just click on this little blue dot here. That's the inside. That's the outside. And if I keep clicking that, I have the option of doing any of the 3, either center line, outside, or inside. You'll notice that this dimension changed, obviously because it got a little bigger. So I set this one to the outside, and I'm going to set this one to the outside. Okay, so everything's good. That's exactly where I want them. That's the dimension that I want. However, the number is not correct. All right, so I'm just going to click on that, and I'm just going to type in 16, enter. And you'll see that it is now the correct dimension. From the exterior of this wall to the exterior of this wall is 16 feet 0 inches. That's awesome. I love it. I'm going to click on this to make it permanent. Now I cannot change that. And you're going to want to do that because if you don't do that, things are going to start shifting all over the place later on as you start changing dimensions. So that dimension is good. The tool shed is 16 feet long. This we need to make 12 feet. So to do that, we need to change that dimension. And you would think you'd want to click on this wall, but you're actually going to want to click on this wall. And that's going to give me this dimension as is right now, 28 feet 6 inches. That is not what I want. It is also not from the exterior to the exterior. So let's change that by clicking the blue dot. Okay, that one's good. This one up here, that's good. Okay, obviously this dimension changed. I want this to be 12 feet. So I'm just going to type 12, enter. Yes, it's good. I'm going to click permanent dimension. And now we're set. These dimensions I cannot change, but I can move them around a little bit if I want to neaten this up. So when I do add other dimensions, they're not sitting on top of each other. And don't forget, we drew this in the floor plan, which is a top-down view. These walls do have height to them. All right, if I go to my 3D view, this is what I drew looking down, but obviously these walls are way too high. And we can start to see the materials on there, and if I go down to my other view, let's go to realistic. All right, so everything's looking good. I have the exterior cladding on the outside, and the interior is gypsum wallboard, but the walls are too high. If I click on this wall, I go to my properties, I can see that this is 20 feet 0 inches, and that is not what I want. So we're going to take a look at that in the next video when we change the wall heights.